Hello, my name is Megan Russell.
And my name is Christopher Russell, and welcome back to Page by Page, Writing the Book in Real Time. This is episode 18. Now, I actually have something about the number conventions because I confused the heck out of myself when I was trying to figure out how many beers we had done so far. And I was like, why? Hold on. But we've actually had... We had a catch-up episode, and I realized that we did not have a beer for that episode. So that episode is not numbered because it's an in-between episode. Thank you so much for coming along that journey through my ADHD with me. So that's all. I just I needed to divulge that.
So I think the summary of this is... Welcome to episode 18. Now, I know that we have a lot of new people joining us because I was just at the Miami Book Fair.
Yes, we were.
And we had an amazing time. I got to meet some really amazing other authors and readers. And I think one of the sweetest things was there were several younger readers because even my books, Bryan Adams and The Tethering, not Bryan Adams, so I magically messed up my life in 4 freaking days.
Was the summer of 69? I'm sorry.
Even though they are solidly YA, they are on the cleaner, easier side to read. So I do have some 11, 12-year-olds who read those books. Mm-hmm. And so I had parents telling me that this was their kids' first signed copy of a book, and they wanted to take a picture of me as the author who signed the
not of me for some reason. I don't know.
Someone did have you sign.
That's true. They did.
But it just was such an honor to be the picture of this kid beaming with their first signed copy of a book. It was really cool. It was
really beautiful. Yeah. That was really enjoyable. I loved watching you shine, really in your element. Even though you are very much an introvert, it was just so cool. It was so cool to see you getting recognition that you deserve. Anyway,
that's weird.
It
was fun to watch you extrovert at people.
I did extrovert at people.
My favorite thing is when you extrovert too hard, and sometimes they run away.
My favorite thing was there would be people who were walking by the booth who clearly weren't going to come in, and I get it. There's a lot to see, so I never took it as an insult, but I would always, they would always, it never fails. That map, the map of Ilbrea, will always catch somebody's attention in the group, always. And it's brilliant that you put that out there, but they will look and then they'll look.
Because when we go to author events, you skipped forward. You didn't tell people what the map of. So one of my series, because we have new people.
Oh, I am sorry. I'm used to that. Yeah.
One of my series, or two of my series, Anna of Ilbrea and Guilds of Ilbrea, share this really gorgeous fantasy map, and I always hang it at the front of my booth for authors events,
which you can
put it on the front of my table.
See a version of above her.
If you're watching the video,
shoulder.
It's right up here.
Yeah.
But I always hang it at the front of my booth because it is very eye-catching and it makes people know that I do have fantasy. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it does catch a lot of people. It's hilarious to just watch people backtrack a few steps to look at the map and then they go forward again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So can I now I can continue? All right.
Continue.
Cool. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah. Those of you just joining us, that is a little bit of a drink your own favorite beverage at your own risk game. Whenever Megan says continue,
you're rude.
It's true. So people will pass by, they'll see the map, and then they'll start looking at the covers. And my favorite line that I've come up with is, "They're as good as they look, I promise," or "Trust me." And they'll laugh and then pass on. But it's just a fun thing. And sometimes they'll come back. So I'm I don't know. It's fun. It's a fun little seed to plant in their head. They're like, "Oh, I do remember those books and that weird guy."
Just watching you repeat that line over and over and being so satisfied at your own
9 hours every day.
And you always get this little ha ha ha, I'm so clever. It's adorable.
Yeah.
All right. So now we are going to explain why there is beer on an author writing book podcast.
Yes, I actually really wanted to follow your thing about kids and their first author. But speaking of kids, so beer. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I apologize. Please continue. I'm just going to check out for this episode.
The reason that we have a beer of the week on the Page by Page podcast is because imposter syndrome makes it really hard for me to sit here and have Chris read things that I wrote at a camera and into a microphone. But having sitting here and having a nice little beer makes it feel like we're hanging out with people and having a conversation.
Yes.
Instead of I feel myself getting a stress reaction.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
Okay. So shall we continue?
Yes. So,
man, I did it again already.
You did. Yeah. You did that on purpose. Okay.
No,
so.
I don't. It's become some weird tick. I need to train myself not to do it anymore.
Oh, by the way, before we introduce the beer of the week, if you hear meowing, we left our babes with a great sitter whom they love very, very much, but for 4 days, and then we came back and immediately took them to the vet. So they're not happy with us.
It was just for their checkup. They're all super
yeah,
healthy and
they're
doing
great.
really well, but they're a little bit pissed.
They're a little chonky,
all right.
But other than that, they're great.
They're perfect.
So the beer of the week is from Unibrew, which is one of my absolute favorite breweries in the world. I love them. We got introduced to them when we were up in Alaska. They're a Canadian brewery, and this is Le Fin du Monde. And those of you who do not speak French, that is the end of the world. So cheers.
Oh, to the end of the world.
Well,
oh, man. All right.
Yeah.
Is it time?
It is time. Was there anything else that you needed to say before we do our last time on? Oh, those of you who have been with us since the beginning, this is going to be, I think, a somewhat extended last time on. A little bit? No, it's not.
No.
So you just have points. Okay. So because we have new listeners joining us, that's why I was...
No, you're ruining everything. You've ruined the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. This is typical.
Because this is a very different kind of chapter than we've had before. It's not that it's going to be a longer previously on.
I see.
It's that I made very careful bullet points of exactly what needs to be known for this chapter, so that for all of our new friends who we met at the Miami Book Fair, who are just now joining the podcast, I don't want to overload them with a million details.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
For this little chapter. So I have made a list of what should be known right now. So that we can give them a slow introduction into the story without being like, well, bam, information. And you have to know it all or else. Because that's no fun. Being slammed. This isn't a pop quiz.
No, it's not.
It's meant to be fun. So let's just ease into the story. And, we will catch our new friends up as we go. Or if you're just now joining us and you're like, wait, I want the story from the beginning, you can click on back to episode 1 and start the story from there.
And then if you want to do a quicker catch up, I do not remember exactly the number, but if you look for the title, A Refreshing Refresher, that is the episode where we just kind of caught everybody back up. We did a little catch up.
All right, so let us go into the previously on bullet pointed notes for our new friends.
We're still playing the music, right?
You have to do the music.
Okay, no, I wanted to. I just want to make sure you weren't cutting my music, man.
No, okay, play the music.
Okay, play the music.
Previously on Sketchbook of a Wayward Seer.
Now play the music.
The weird bullet pointed edition of Previously on. Our heroine, Ella Day, is a recent orphan. She is a seer who was born to werewolves. And after being orphaned, she now lives in Laureldale. Character 2 we have is Violet. She is a werewolf who was born in Laureldale. She has been threatening to force Ella out of Laureldale or burn her by making her suspicious to the humans if Ella does not help her find a missing girl. Violet is also the host of Friday's Welcome to Laureldale Fun, since it is Ella's
and
first
your host,
week.
Violet the Werewolf.
She has been being introduced to Laureldale life in a very intense fashion by character 3, Paige Paxson.
I'm sorry, this first bullet that you have, semi-controlling.
Paige Paxson, stop, okay? Character 3. Semi-controlling protector of Ella. I'm doing the short version.
You're rocking it out. I love it.
Okay, Jason. He is tall. He is hot. That's actually all you need to know for this moment.
He is handsome. He is witty. He is the beau of Dublin. Wait,
then we go into Evan. He's a theater guy with a Jonathan Bailey kind of charm.
Wait, what?
That's all that matters for him right now. And I went with Jonathan Bailey.
Who is Jonathan Bailey?
The one who plays Anthony on Bridgerton, and then he's Fiyero in Wicked, and he's a theater guy, and he's hot, and he's topical, so I picked that name.
Is he the brother that was the love interest in the most recent season?
No. He's the one who had his bee sting sucked out. Oh, that sounds weird.
Continue, please.
You said it. Okay. But all that you need to know right now is Evan is a charming theater dude. That's all you need to know about him. Last but not least, wait, let me count again. Make sure I don't screw it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th character that you should know for this scene.
Oh, yes.
Last but not least is the Watcher. The Watcher knows that Ella is a Sibyl or seer. They have been recording Ella in her room, at school, even planting cameras near Ella's car. Watching the Sibyl who has just arrived in Lauraldale.
Boy, okay. So So part of this podcast is that we get to let you all in on some of the like behind the curtain things that are happening. So I was going to talk about this after the chapter, but when I was editing the chapter just a couple of hours ago, yes, well, you should. But a couple of hours ago, Megan let drop the pronouns of the Watcher. So if you notice, Megan was using they a whole lot. Well, Megan did not use they in a comment that was left to me. And I was like, oh, you let something slip to me. And Megan was like, oh, no. Oh, man, I was trying so hard. So anyway.
I've been doing so well so far. And yes. I talk to you about my books always and my characters always.
Yeah, I know. Oh, no, it felt very much like, well, it was a return to the past 31 novels, right?
Hard.
Yeah.
Oh, and
you were doing great. So
I fucked it up, man.
So the reason you did,
well and I slipped.
You did. So
I blame Miami Book Fair fatigue. It was amazing, but my brain is
my gosh,
flippy.
Yeah.
But it's one tiny slip that I've had, and I think we can still preserve.
Oh, yeah.
The experiment of the project.
Oh, absolutely, we can. And I'm not letting you in on what the Watcher's actual pronouns are.
But we will let you in on the fact that I accidentally slipped while we were recording this podcast 3 times.
Yes, and that's exactly why I brought this up.
Having to go back and back and back.
So whenever we, those of you just joining us, whenever we do something like that, we'll do a snap. I'm doing it away from the mic right now. And that will let us know, hey, that's a timestamp to cut at. So
that's a timestamp because Megan did something silly.
So I think that now that we've shared that comedic bit of behind the scenes with you, it is time. No, it's okay. It's time to jump in.
It is time to jump in.
Okay. So, Sketchbook of a Wayward Seer by Megan O. Russell, Chapter 17. Jason Archer twisted toward the lockers, his body blocking Paige Paxman from view, killing any chance I had of knowing why the Sibyl reached for Paige's hand. Something in the Sibyl's movement caught my eye, the oddity clear, though it took watching those few seconds a dozen times to pinpoint what exactly made it strange. Just before she touched Paige's hand, a split second of hesitation, as though the Sibyl feared the physical contact. I scrolled back again, watching the subtle reluctance I doubted even the Sibyl had noticed. But had she meant to flick her gaze up at me the next moment? A mere nervous twitch? Or had the Sibyl spotted the tiny camera lens glinting from the other side of the hall just above the Ram Fam banner? I paused, noting the timestamp on the video, then added hall camera placement to my list. Though the view of the Sibyl's locker worked well, if the lens could be spotted, changes would have to be made. Perhaps moving the camera to the wall above the Sibyl's locker would allow me to isolate her voice as well. I'd yet to be able to decipher her words through the chaotic babble of the other students. I opened the next video. The music room as seen from the teacher's point of view. I'd gambled on the crowd gathering around the pizza laid out on the desk. An unfortunate mistake. Violet stayed by the food, rotating out the pizza boxes as they emptied, pouring drinks, and holding court with her bandmates. But the Sibyl only came into view long enough to shake hands with Alex and Mia, then take 2 pieces of heavily cheese-laden pizza and a cup of lemonade. Even that short time held value. The Sibyl had that same instant of what seemed like instinctual hesitation before touching the musicians. I noted the time on the video and moved on to what had to be the treasure of the day. The wolf had laid the perfect scene. Easels had been set in a large circle in the center of the room, and each guest given an assigned place. A tag facing toward the center of the circle noted each person's name, favorite art form, and favorite piece in said medium. Tessa Everhart, music, I Will Wait. Evan Wren, theater, Les Miserables. Ella Day. The second 2 lines on the Sibyl's tag had been left blank. The wolf had placed herself across from the Sibyl, her tag facing directly away from the camera. A wise place for a wolf wanting to watch a threat. A foolish mistake for someone who should be smart enough to avoid a Sybil's notice. Dimming the harsh academic lights and adding soft music seemed meant to lure the guests into a state of relaxed calm so contrary to Violet's jagged, constant, near-boiling anger, a genuine laugh rose to my throat as she stepped into the circle and clapped her hands for attention. "Since I know how some of you assholes are," she began, shooting a glare directly at Haley, then sliding it to Alex, "this is officially a finger-painting competition. At stake, a 12 large pizza punch card and the chance to have your glorious art displayed at the crossing." Haley shrugged, giving an appeased little pout. Alex pumped his fist in the air. "Fuck yeah!" "Who's choosing the winner?" the Sybil asked. "The owner of the crossing," Violet said, a.k.a. her mom. Evan leaned closer to the Sybil, as though sharing a secret, even as he spoke loudly enough for the rest of the room to easily hear. "She's great. Kissing ass won't help since entries are anonymous," Violet said. "Some of us play fair." "I always play fair," Evan winked. "I wasn't talking about you," Violet said. "You've got 1 hour. Painters at the ready, and paint." Evan had been given the place next to the Sybil, leaving him close enough he could have reached out and touched the tattoo that peeked over the back of her tank top as she pulled off her sweater and tossed it onto the chair behind her. But he only watched the Sybil, his gaze devouring her as though the idiot were trying to decide which part of her beauty to praise first, completely unaware that any beauty she held was nothing but disarming bait for the weak. The chatter grew, blocking any chance I had of hearing the words spoken between him and the Sybil. I highlighted the note to find better recording options for school hours as urgent. Too much information slipped by as the Sybil spent hours walking among... Why do I keep getting caught on among? Wait, while we're stopped here, did you explain what Sybil means in the beginning bit?
No.
Just in case those... Okay, great. So Sybil is just another word for seer, just in case. Because I honestly didn't know. Like, I didn't realize that... What?
Sybil's were seers?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird how, like, in my head it's so ingrained that it didn't occur to me?
Well, and also because a very famous series has a character named Sybil, and, like, you would have thought I would have put 2 and 2 together, but I'm sometimes a little slow.
You're not a little slow. Sometimes nods are meant to be nods and not meant for everyone to get.
Well, that's fair. Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Continue.
Drink them if you have them. Wait, I do.
Ooh.
Okay.
That beer is so good. Okay.
It is so good. We didn't actually harp on it as much as we should have because it's really good. Okay, I'll back up. I highlighted the note to find better recording options for school hours as urgent. Too much information slipped by as the Sybil spent hours walking among unsuspecting innocents. Like innocent, stupid Evan fighting for the Sybil's attention, trying to make her laugh, leaning back to appreciate her work. But even as he flirted and praised, he missed it. The moment the Sybil stopped nodding to his constant rambling, and the look in her eyes switched from amused to afraid, as though something in her mind had shattered. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3, completely still. Frozen in terror? 4.2 seconds after she froze, the fear in the Sybil's eyes peaked to terror. Her shoulders crunched forward as though someone had punched the center of her chest. Blinking, she went back to nodding along to Evan's monologue even as she swayed. Evan still didn't notice anything wrong as the Sybil's gaze fell to her own painting and the look of terror returned to her eyes. But the whole room stopped as the Sybil ripped her oversized paper from her easel and tore it in half. She tore the paper again and again and again and again, then crumbled it up and threw it in the trash, not noticing everyone staring at her until she turned back to her easel. She blinked twice before wrinkling her nose in a self-deprecating grimace. "Fucked that one up." The Sybil showed no regret in her lie. "And I don't like losing." Haley huffed loudly enough for the mic to pick up. "I'm sure it was great," Tessa said. "But I'm going for glory." The Sybil framed her face with her paint-covered hands as though displaying rings heavy with jewels. Appreciative laughs fluttered around the room as Evan said, If you think the painting you shredded wasn't good enough to beat us all, you may find yourself disappointed in your competition. For its size, Laureldale High has one of the best arts departments in the state. Paige Paxman charged into the camera's view, her glare pinned not on Evan, but Violet. I stopped the video before the scene dissolved into Paige and Violet arguing. Creating a captivating enough distraction, even the Sybil fell into watching the drama. Her pure, human-like intrigue tainted with the embarrassment of one not brave enough to throw themselves between a wolf and a serpent, even knowing they'd sparked the battle and could easily end it all. It only took a few clicks to create a perfect clip, looping the video from 1 minute before the Sybil froze to the moment after she threw her painting away, turned back to the group, and realized every person in the room had their gaze fixed on her. I left the clip playing as I smoothed out the crumpled paper and pieced the Sybil's painting back together. Wop, wop, what? That's how I'm ending the chapter. It's okay. So, those of you just joining, that theme music that played at the very beginning. Episode. What? Those of you just joining.
I think in the episode notes, you should count as you proof how many times you say that, and I want you to put it.
What? Those of you just joining?
Yes.
Okay, great. Does that one count too?
Or to our new friends.
To our new friends.
Those of you just joining. Can you put a count in, please?
Yeah, let me write that down. Okay, so while I'm writing this, as always, I'm going to start with your thoughts. But before we do that, I want to clarify something too. Those of you just joining, the theme music that you heard before I started reading the chapter, that is actually the Watcher's theme. So there is a theme that is the Laureldale theme that is really Ella's theme. So I'm a composer, and we're both musical theater people. And in musical theater, there are oftentimes themes that go with like different characters. And yeah, so anyway,
well, that happens in movies and TV
well,
shows.
It actually all started with Wagner. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, Wagner wrote, he kind of coined the leitmotif. So it's a German thing that we then took, and it's just used everywhere now. John Williams kind of, I think, I don't know that he necessarily was the first one to do it in cinema, but he definitely popularized it in cinema. So now you've got a little bit of music background. And also, if you know that I'm wrong, please let me know in the notes, because I don't like giving wrong information. So I'm a huge nerd. Sorry. Okay, so what do you think about the episode? Or the chapter. Sorry.
So I've been kind of waiting to get to do this for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is only the 4th Watcher moment that we've had.
And this is the longest Watcher that
it
moment
is,
that
and it's
been
awesome. I loved getting to get into this. It was cool.
Because normally the chapters on the podcast are about 4,000 words, but because I knew we were having a lot of new friends just joining us.
No, it only counts if I say it.
And because there was the Miami Book Fair this week, and I knew that my brain was not going to be in a place to create a 4,500 word chapter that was strong enough for the podcast.
Thank you for realizing that.
I took the advantage of needing to have a shorter chapter and got to finally do a whole longer stretch from the Watcher's point of view.
So was there a Watcher scene in the last chapter that you cut? Because you had cut some
We
stuff.
were supposed to get to the Watcher.
Okay, gotcha.
So in the last chapter, I wanted to get all the way to the Watcher.
Okay.
Watching her in the art studio. That was what I needed.
Okay.
I needed the Watcher in the art studio.
So then initially, would you have started with the Watcher spying on Jason and Paige in the hallway?
No.
Oh, okay. See, that's cool.
But I needed to add that in
Yeah.
to link the last chapter to this one. So if it had been stretching from... If it had been a part of chapter 16 instead of being its own chapter 17... then, well, maybe. No, I would have had it
But it would have been more succinct, right?
Yes, yeah. I would have had it flip to Paige and Jason in the hallway just to transition from one point of view to the other, because I think that would be really cool.
Okay.
But it wouldn't have been that long.
Sure.
So it would have been like a couple sentence blip into the music room, into the art room.
Gotcha.
But then I would have had to really, really shorten what happened in the art room.
I'm glad you didn't, because I loved every moment of that. It was great.
Well, I knew after the last chapter that I was going to need to... I got about 2/3 through writing chapter 16, and I realized that there was no way in hell I was getting all the way to this scene decently. Yeah. So that's when I reformulated the timeline.
Okay.
Because if I could not successfully get that Watcher scene in now,
yeah,
the important things in this scene didn't have to happen today.
Okay.
It could have been a regular art class instead of a finger painting class.
But okay, I like.
So there are other ways that I could have accomplished what needed to happen in this chapter.
Okay.
But because of the schedule and chapter length and trying to make every chapter a little episode lit, so it has a not episode of literature, episode lit as in like piglet.
Yeah.
So that it has a satisfying arc.
Yeah.
And in doing that, it creates some interesting challenges, and getting to finally do the Watcher chapter is great.
Yeah.
But I do have to be more flexible with where and how the Watcher appears, and we gain information from the Watcher's perspective.
Yes.
Than I want it to be.
Yeah.
Just because fitting the information in without taking away from Ella's point of view has been really hard.
So then is there a world in which, and like now I know that we won't, and that's one of the cool things about this process, but I'm going to put a pin in that. Would we have possibly actually seen the vision that she had? Because I'm assuming that's what was going on, is she was having a vision of Evan. Like she must have been. Maybe not.
That's a really big presumption.
That's okay. No. I just realized like maybe not. She was definitely having a vision. Like I am 100% certain of that. And I am also certain. Oh, so this is something that those of you just joining will not necessarily know, is that Ella, this is something that I don't know that you... Yeah, no, we have talked about this, but I don't think... Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. Let me get my thoughts in order. So we know that Ella sometimes uses art as a way to make sense of her visions, right?
Correct.
But have we talked about the fact that sometimes she does it without realizing that she's doing it?
No.
We haven't seen her do this yet, right?
No, she knew she was painting.
She knew she was painting. But did she know what she was painting? You can't tell me, can you? You were just staring. Those of you who can't watch the video, Megan is literally just staring at me right now. What? This is killing me. Okay. All right. Okay.
Well, I'll miss you when you're gone.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Okay. So then we're going to get into my thoughts of the chapter.
I'm a horrible person. Okay.
You're not a horrible person. You're no, you're not. You're horrible to your characters sometimes, but it's for a purpose. It's always for a purpose. But that said, I'm like, oh, those poor characters. The fact that we start with Ella losing her parents and her grandmother in a horrific way. It's like, wow, good. We're setting her up for success. So
welcome to the plot line.
Yeah, seriously.
Here's your emotional baggage.
So my first thought that I wrote down when I read this the first time, because those of you just joining us, the way we do this is Megan will write it. She does a couple of edits, and this is for this project specifically. She'll do a couple of edits. She sends it to me. I do some edits, and then I send it back to her to accept or reject any of my changes or suggestions. And then we do a read aloud edit. And I actually think I talked to some of you about this at the Miami Book Fair, is that's what makes these books so conversational and easy to read. Like they flow. And that's because I will read the chapter aloud while Megan follows along. And then we will figure out there are things that don't work. It also helps us catch some potential typos. But the first thing that I noticed in my first read was that the Watcher is incredibly meticulous. Like the fact that they're like, I have this
Your
line
first read of
highlighted.
This chapter.
My first read of this chapter,
Sorry,
yes.
just clarify.
Sorry, thank you very much. But I paused, noting the time step on the video, then added hall camera placement to my list. So the fact that they're like, okay, all right, so this placement may have been compromised. Okay, so I need to change it here. If I put it in front of Ella's locker, then maybe I can isolate that sound. Like, wow. You call me a nerd. The Watcher's a total nerd. But that's really cool.
That's just having a to-do list. That's how it needs to be done.
No, not everybody thinks like you, Megan Elizabeth.
Oh, that's weird.
Okay. Well, no. Okay. You almost said it. You just stopped yourself from saying it. That's funny. Okay, so this is, I don't remember if you said this or not.
That Violet's a werewolf?
No. But just, I had a note in here to remind listeners that the Watcher knows a lot already. Like, they knew that Violet was a werewolf a while ago when we see Ella and Violet in the alley.
Yep.
Right? So the Watcher was like, the werewolf. I think those are the first two words, actually, of that Watcher scene. So the Watcher is very, very well aware of everything that's going on.
Yes. So the Watcher knows that there is a Sybil/Seer in school. The Watcher knows that there is a werewolf in school. So, yeah, there is a lot going on that they have already discovered.
Okay. Now, this is a fun little thing, too, that a lot of times Megan and I will start to have conversations and one of us will be like, no, for the podcast. We can't do this right now. One of those moments happened today when we got to the part where they're about to do finger painting. And I said to Megan, I said, wait, does Violet know Ella's an artist? And Megan said, ask me that on the podcast. Wouldn't give me the answer. So does Violet know Ella's an artist?
I just want to lay out a thought pattern for you.
Okay.
So what did Violet offer as a good reward for Ella helping her find the missing girl, Clara?
Being a best friend? Like a friend in Laurel, a protector?
What are Ethereans, as in supernaturals, in Laureldale not allowed to do?
Hang out together?
How do you make it make sense that Ella and Violet are suddenly really good friends?
Oh my God. Okay. But... Okay. Oh, wait. Okay. So back up here to the previous chapter, the one before this. Sorry for those of you who are just joining us. But this
Thank
is
God we didn't propose this as a drinking game because,
No, that's not a drinking game. It's only when you say continue, not even when I say it. So sorry if you took a drink earlier when I said that.
No, but it should not be a drinking game on this podcast. I don't need that kind of responsibility.
If you're having chocolate milk, although then again, if you're going to go like to the gym later, maybe don't have chocolate milk. Okay,
I don't want the responsibility for anyone getting sick.
Yeah.
It is purely a joke.
Yeah, it is purely a joke. Oh man, you know what I just realized? Sorry, I was thinking of like chocolate milk and then my brain went to eggnog and then I went to coquito and I am so excited to make my first batch this year. Okay.
I'm so excited to decorate our background for Christmas.
Ooh.
Wow, we are both. Our squirrel brains are so on point right now. Okay.
We don't even have lizard brains. We have squirrel brains.
We have squirrel brains.
Okay, so going back
that's
to
the thing. People are like, how do you have 31 books? I'm just a neurotic squirrel. I am a neurotic squirrel. That's my whole personality.
And this, okay, so since we're on this...
Wait. I'm wrong.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm a neurotic squirrel who likes cats.
You are, yeah, that, and which is weird. Because squirrels don't like cats, because cats eat squirrels.
Okay, what were you going to say?
So this is, now that we're on this side quest, this kind of goes back to the fact that I've told you, and even one of your bridesmaids told you, that you are neurodivergent. It was not the brain injury that all of a sudden made you neurodivergent. Like, you've always been that. It's just that it heightened everything, right?
I'm just a little squirrel, and whatever causes the squirrelness, I'm here.
I wish that my squirrel were as good at like focusing as your squirrel is. Okay, so going back to the previous chapter, where does Violet, per the conversation that was had in the hallway at the locker, does Violet now know that Ella is actually helping her? Do you know what I mean? Like, because it seemed like, the last thing we see Violet do before this chapter is grip Ella's elbow hard enough to hurt. Like, it's almost though she's piercing through her clothes. I think, if I recall correctly.
She's not
like,
piercing through her clothes.
No, but it's like, it feels like she's gripping really
yeah.
hard. And I didn't know if like nails were involved. But, or claws.
No, because then there'd be blood.
That's fair. Yeah.
You can't make her bleed in the hall. That's suspicious.
But she does bleed in the hall from a paper cut. That's a deep cut. So, but does Violet know from that conversation? Because Violet's not stupid. Like, she is very intelligent. Does Violet know that Ella has been trying to help? Then the fact that she has this knowledge that Violet did not divulge.
She knows, she is very well aware that Ella has definitely figured out who is missing and has been looking into it.
So
that does not imply an intention to help.
Okay, so she does not take it that way. All right.
No, it could be an intention to shut that shit down, by outing what Violet said.
I'm only hearing Negan's voice in my head now. I will shut that shit down.
But
Sorry.
that's the thing, is that Violet knows Ella has been smart enough to look into it, but all that does is make Ella a bigger threat.
Okay.
She's not just cowing and saying yes or no.
You know what I think is great about this setup, this podcast, is that I think that inevitably there are some people who hear me say that I'm a huge fan of your books, right? But they're going to think, because it's natural to go, you're married to her, like, of course you're going to say this. But no, like, you can tell, hopefully, from this podcast that I am a huge fan of Megan's books. So it's like the fact that I am geeking out so much about this, like, I have my own fan theories about everything. I, at one point, even thought about writing a fanfic of the tethering from Dexter's point of view. Not Dexter's point of view, that if Jacob had actually joined the dragons. Sorry, spoiler alert. Jacob wants nothing to do with the dragons. They're the bad guys. But if Jacob had actually joined the dragons, do you remember that?
There's a whole thing about a group of wizards called the dragons and the tethering.
Oh,
okay,
thank
continue.
you for clarifying that. Your hair is on point right now, by the way.
You made me nervous, so I ducked below the table because I felt the strash watch coming in.
Oh, because I was talking about how much of a fan of yours I am?
Yes,
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry that I made you turtle.
Okay, next note.
Okay, next note.
I didn't say the C word.
It's okay. Okay, so the next note that I have is I highlighted the line, Evan had been given the place next to the Sybil, leaving him close enough he could have reached out and touched the tattoo, blah, blah, blah. So did Violet do that intentionally just to piss Paige off?
Oh, fuck yeah.
What a bitch. They're horrible to each other.
Evan should not have had anything to do with the pizza party. Evan was not invited to paint. Violet is pissed at Paige and made changes. That was the typo on the invitation.
Oh, that's right. We talked about... Oh, my God. That's right.
Evan was not supposed to have anything to do with this.
God.
And Violet added him to spite Paige. Because she found out what had been going on.
Oh my God, and you even held on to the detail about the music because he was written down as the DJ and there's calm music that's playing. Mm-hmm. Amazing.
So she called him in last minute. You want another chance to flirt with a new girl? Come on here, help me out.
She is the worst. Oh my God.
Or is she the best?
I mean, no, she's brilliant.
Is she saying, you should stay away from Paige and Jason. Here's this nice dude here. You want this one?
He's not a nice dude. He's a teenage womanizer. Like, no.
He's a teenage womanizer, but so were you, and you're a nice dude.
I was. Yeah, that's true. I was like, what's funny is I said that and I went, oh, you just described yourself, Christopher.
Yeah. So if it's like, hey, here are these two people I hate, or like, here's this decent guy that's not that bad.
By the way, this is neither here nor there, but just to clarify something, I was definitely a player in high school, and there are actually deep-seated reasons for that I didn't learn until my 30s. That like, oh, childhood abuse can lead to bad things. Anyway, so I'm not excusing my actions, but I'm just saying that there was a reason.
You weren't that bad.
I wasn't, but still, it's still shady. Like, it's not cool.
Yes, you were a shady teenager.
It's not cool.
You were a shady high schooler.
I was, and I am very different now, thank God. I am glad I am not that same person. Holy crap.
Yeah, you wouldn't be here.
No, you would have killed me. That's true. Yeah.
We wouldn't have dated.
Fair point. Yeah, you're right. You wouldn't have put up with that.
No. Okay.
And I'm very grateful for that. Okay.
Moving along.
So now that we've moved, you can just say it. It's fine. Continue. Sorry, that's me trying to ventrilo. Okay. Okay. So maybe you'll make me cut this. I don't think so, though. But because I don't know if it's important for us to know this or not, if we can discuss this, but is there a history between the Watcher and Evan? Because the Watcher says, like innocent, stupid Evan fighting for the Sibyl's attention, which kind of puts me in a couple of different minds. It's like, okay, so is this somebody who has dealt with Evan trying to steal their significant other? Is this somebody who has flirted with Evan? Like, or is Evan just a jerk to the Watcher? Like,
Does that read as jerk to you? Innocent, stupid Evan?
No, that reads like somebody who's just like calling Evan basically worthless.
So we've talked about before how it has been the same. I think it's 83 students for forever in the world.
No, it's 83 days. I don't know.
It's something like that, students.
Yeah.
But there's 83 something students who have been in the same class in Laureldale with very little change
87.
since 87, so now 88 students.
Oh, yeah.
Most of whom have been together since kindergarten.
Right.
They're still holding things against Noah because he messed up a parade in elementary school.
Well, I mean, but he messed it up.
So, yeah, this does say quite a lot about the Watcher. But I think that you're looking at it in the wrong way.
Okay. I probably.
Because these people have known each other all their lives. There's 80 of them.
Okay.
So if you look at that, if we have 88, let's even split that evenly. 44, 44.
Well, Ella makes 88, so it's 87. Yeah.
But if we go with that ratio, and then we look at the dating pool, and then we look at the people who don't date, and then we look at the cross daters, the daters within groups, the incestuous dating that has got to have happened in this school.
Yeah.
Just because there's no one else. Like, you have had the same 40 odd choices.
They are Fleetwood Mac.
Kind of, yeah. So all this really tells us is that, yes, the Watcher is a part of this community.
Okay.
That I will give you. They are a part of this community.
All right,
and how you interpret it from there is up to you.
Thank you for that. Wait, where did there we go. Okay. So you wanted me to ask, and this is not something that I even thought about asking, but Megan's like, you need to ask me about the paper tearing. So the line that I'm referencing is, she tore the paper again and again and again and again, then crumpled it up and threw it in the trash. Okay, so what's going on? What do you want us to know about this?
So I try to keep things fairly realistic, and some of this comes out in the Obrea series, because it is epic fantasy, my neuroses with making sure that travel times work. Mm-hmm. And so I was thinking about Ella tearing the paper.
Did you actually pick up a piece of paper and see how much you could tear it?
No, because finger paint paper is thick.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So
you shouldn't be able to do that.
You should not be able to tear it that many times.
I was wondering, I was like, that seems like a lot of times to tear a piece of paper.
But while Ella is not of werewolf strength, she is an Etherean. And even as a physically incapable compared to all the other Ethereans.
Like Violet,
Caleb, any of those types of people, fae, werewolves, vampires.
Is she not as strong as a banshee?
No.
Even? Really? Banshees are stronger than she is?
Because she's not made for fighting.
Wow.
A Sibyl is not made for battle.
Right.
So compared to every other Etherean in town, she's this weak little thing.
Yeah.
But she panics and she shreds paper. Big, strong Jason shouldn't be able to grip and shred. So I was looking at this and I was writing again and again and again and again. And I was like, no, she can. She can do it. Even though
I didn't catch
weird,
that at all.
You shouldn't be able to do that with the thick finger painting paper, but she can without even thinking about it.
So fascinating.
Or thinking to stop herself from doing it because it's not normal.
See, I'm going to make you turtle again. This is another one of those things that makes you literally one of my favorite authors. Not the fact that I'm married to you and we've been together for 21 years, but the fact that who thinks about these things? Oh, it's just so cool. Whose brain works that way? Okay.
I mean,
authors,
it seems
apparently
normal to me, but I don't know.
But you're you. All right. Okay. You finished turtling?
No.
Okay. So I have this. What are you doing?
I have a rash again.
Okay. So I have two more things that I wanted to discuss. One of which is, and this is hilarious. I keep those Ilbrea fans out there. I keep swiping accidentally over to book one in what is currently titled Shadow Shield, which is a series that takes place in Akalia. If you look at your map, you'll find it. Anyway, so it's just funny that I keep going over there. And yes, we do have the full book. And yes, someday I am going to make Megan actually publish it because it's really good. Okay, so my last 2 points.
It's so pretty just sitting on my hard drive.
No, I mean, actually, her literary manager was like, no, we're going to submit this to stuff. So that's what we are currently working on.
Yeah, it's weird because it really is. It's a whole finished novel.
It's a whole finished novel and it's beautiful.
And it's just on my computer not doing anything.
Those of you who love Anna and Finn's relationship, like Wesley and why can't I think of Moira? Wesley and Moira's relationship is also absolutely beautiful. Okay, so let's see. Oh yes, this line right here. I stopped the video before the scene dissolved into Paige and Violet arguing, creating a captivating enough distraction even the Sybil fell into watching the drama, her pure human-like intrigue tainted with the embarrassment of one not brave enough to throw themselves between a wolf and a serpent, even knowing they'd sparked the battle and could easily end it all. So as I was reading that, I came across, well, first of all, we had to redo this because I just outed the watcher.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so frustrated that I now know.
Left in that pronoun.
It's okay.
No. I really like.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
I love the Miami Book Fair. I love it. It's one of my top 2 events.
Oh, we will go to that until we die. Like, it's amazing. As long as they
accept me. It's so weird. Some of the runners of the event, because they're there when you pack up.
Yeah.
And one of them stopped and they were like, "How did it go?" And I was like, "It was amazing. It was even better than I thought. I loved it." And they're like, "Good. So you'll be coming back next year?" And I wanted to be like, "Good. So you're accepting me?"
Yeah.
Like, I have to apply for that event. I get vetted to get in.
Yeah.
So, and there was the very important lady who had the very fancy cart, but there were also people who are like, "Great, so you'll be back next year?" And I just want like a t-shirt that says, "Please bring me back. Let me back."
Yeah, right. I get you. Okay, so the 2 things that I've now noticed. The first one was I said, holy shit, I had to read this 3 times before I got the importance of it. And now that's untrue. I had to read it 5 times to get the importance of it. So the first thing that I noticed.
That's a lot of importance.
Well, no, it really is. So the first thing that I noticed was the even knowing they'd sparked the battle and could easily end it all. And I was like, what the hell did Ella do in this music room that sparked it? And I went, no, the Watcher is referring to the way that Ella lied about stuff, and that brought Paige's wrath down on Violet. And I was like, oh my God. So they know all of that. That's a huge drop. I can't believe I missed it the first couple of times.
Well, what number is on the dice?
12, right? Is
Which
the one that's
means
showing?
There were how many people in the house?
At the KAT Society?
Yeah.
12. Because there were 3 on one side, 3 on another side, which is 6, plus Andre, plus Ella, Paige, Tessa, and Jason. And that's who we know of, which means that right?
And
Evan. Wait, no, but Evan was one of the...
Where did Ella ask Jason?
In the, was it in a bedroom?
In the library.
The library, thank you.
So how would the Watcher know?
If they had a camera in the library?
There were 12 people in the house.
That's messed up, man. That is messed up. Okay, the second thing is... God bless. Okay, you are smarter than you realize. The second thing
No, I just thought it would be really cool to put the dice.
You're smarter than you know.
I thought it would be cool.
Yes, it is cool. Okay. The second thing is...
People still haven't gotten the numbers on the fingers, so we'll see when that comes.
Oh, yeah.
Don't.
No.
No, don't.
Okay, just don't even say anything about it.
Don't say anything.
Okay. Numbers on fingers. Fish fingers and custard. All right.
Okay, Doctor Who.
Yeah, thank you.
Rolling right along.
You can say that.
Just keep rolling along.
The second thing that I noticed on the 5th read was the fact that the Watcher referred to Paige as a serpent. And I'm like, oh, what's going on there? That's interesting. Why are they calling Paige a serpent? So I'm very curious. Okay. Who the hell was in that house? Okay, sorry. Oh, this is driving me crazy. Because see, I do know things that y'all don't know, but there are things that I really want to know that I'm not allowed to know. And this feels like Ilbrea all over again, because there are things in Falcon and Song that I won't know until the damn book is written, and it's driving me insane. Okay. So my last thing that I just said was, what an ending. The fact that I left the clip playing as I smoothed out the crumpled paper and pieced the Sibyl's painting back together. Just like, oh shit. Oh shit. And why did Ella not think to remove it? Well, I guess if she'd ripped it up, okay. No, it makes sense. I get it. No,
you tear it up, you throw it away, you don't make a big deal about it. The janitor is going to come collect it. No big deal.
What a ride. Like, there was so much in that chapter. Holy crap.
Well, and that's the thing, is I love writing from Ella's point of view, because we get to be in it with her. We get to go along this journey, see everything from her point of view, hear her internal monologue, deal with her trauma as she goes through it.
Yeah.
But writing in third person instead of Ella first person, I can get
it's not third person, remember?
Oh, first person.
I made that mistake a few episodes ago.
So writing in
first person from a different point of view.
Viewer first person.
Right, observer.
Yes.
Like, kind of, yeah.
Writing an observer first person.
Sorry, that was not me correcting. That was me.
There are things being noticed that we never notice about ourselves.
Yeah.
It's like chewing your nails. People don't know they're doing it. She's not going to notice that she's hesitating before touching people. Right.
And that's fascinating. That was a really cool thing because I didn't think about that. The fact that Ella wouldn't think about those things.
No, because it's really just, cool. It is how her experience has been for so long. It's normal.
Yeah.
And just the same way that this is the first time we've gotten to watch Ella have a vision. That we know what it really looks like from the outside.
Yes, it is. Okay, sorry, I had to think through all of the Watcher breaks, and I'm like, But
that's the first time we've seen it. And so getting to do that from an outside perspective was really cool, because as much as I love writing first person, it does get really limiting. And having this observer perspective has kind of made it possible to get a lot of those benefits of third person just kind of twisted into the story.
Sure.
Hopefully in a subtle fashion. But that has been a large benefit that I had kind of thought through with the Watcher, of getting to see more of Ella's world than just what Ella can notice herself.
Yeah.
Because even in any first person, you can only use what that character is noticing in their surroundings.
Yeah. Yes.
Which can be limiting.
Yes.
Because once you establish the kind of things that your person is going to notice.
Yeah, then that's all they can notice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if they notice something new, it needs to be something important, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But because
this is such a masterclass in writing. Okay.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's not. But because I have the Watcher's...
You've written almost 35 novels. Like, yes, it is. You are a master at this. Okay, continue.
Don't make me get another rash. But because...
That's now my aim. Welcome to the Page by Rash podcast.
No, look at it.
You're fine.
But because I can have that extra little bit of information, I'm really excited to find more ways to play with it. And I'm really happy with, now that I've finally gotten to do this large a chunk.
Yes.
I am feeling more confident in how I chose to set up the Watcher. Because I am live writing this, and there is no takesies backsies.
No.
It has been kind of nerve-wracking of like, am I going to be able to use the Watcher as I need to? And this is the first time that I've really felt like, yes, they can serve their purpose.
I mean, this is the absolute best Watcher moment. Like, it is so good.
Because I finally had word count to do it.
It was great. It was great. I'm
glad
that...
This whole podcast thing is making it really tough. But you know what? That was part of the thing, is figuring out how to do a new system and write in an episodic manner. And I'm figuring out, and it's a huge learning experience. And I'm excited to see how I get to carry it into my other writing.
Oh, God, there was something I was going to ask and I forgot it. But I do remember one thing I was going to ask, and that is, do we get to find out who the Watcher is at the end of this novel? Or do I now have to live with this torture for forever? Like, how long do I have to keep the pronouns unclear not that they shouldn't be used as a singular pronoun. Like they has been used as singular for a very long time, but like is because the Watcher's pronouns are not they, them. We're using that to be obtuse.
Well, even if they were they, them,
right,
then it would be an established they, them.
Oh, fair. I see. Yes. But I know that their pronouns are not they, them. How long?
You just counted an entire character out.
I didn't, because I saw you write what their chosen pronouns are.
Yeah, but now that you said that they aren't a they, them, Teal's out.
I didn't realize Teal was a they, them.
Yeah, Teal's they, them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, those are their pronouns.
Okay, great. So we know it's not Teal. That's
yes.
literally...
So
we know it's not Teal. We know it's not... we know it's not Teal, Paige, Jason, Violet, and Ella, obviously. But I think that's all we can rule out. Do you
Don't think too hard. You're going to start making bad guesses.
You're too smart for me. It's not fair.
I'm not too smart for you.
No, you are. But see, the thing is... I
just have a lot of data on my computer you don't have access to.
It's not just that. I have told people this before. I remember back when I was speaking to my parents. Yeah, there's a, sorry, bombshell drop. But that...
Wow, you are emotionally dumping.
Sorry. Welcome to my world.
This is what happens when Chris extroverts too hard. His filters disappear.
Well, it's not like I talk about this stuff at the book fair.
He got to extrovert for 3 days straight, and now he's like, here's my emotional baggage. I'm best friends with the world.
Sorry, y'all.
You're a lab puppy.
So I am a Labrador puppy. And you know what? Labs are awesome. They're loyal. They're smart.
That's why I keep you around.
But
see, you just said you're smart. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I did. But something, thank you for bringing that up, because something that I would say to my mother, and she hated that I said this, but it is absolutely undeniably true, is I'd be like, oh, Megan is smarter than I am. And my mother was like, don't say that. Don't say that. I'm like, no, it's literally, undeniably, measurably true. Like and it's not that there aren't things, and I think I've said this on the podcast before, there are things that I am more knowledgeable than you are, obviously, like music and video games. And there's more than that, but you are the more intelligent of the two of us. And I appreciate that, because I am glad that I'm married to somebody who challenges me every day. That's all.
The rash is itching all the way up to my jaw now.
Okay. All right. So, okay. So.
Oh, it's hot. Oh, it's really hot to the touch. Oh, that's
here.
hot.
Let me see.
You feel?
It's not hot to the touch. You're fine.
Wait. So then my hands are cold? You made my hands frozen.
No, Reynolds made your hands frozen.
That's it. I've been ruined. I'm turtling. I have a rash and frozen hands.
It only took 21 years. My plan is working.
You finally destroyed me.
Okay, but you didn't answer the question. Do we get to find out who the Watcher is by the end of this book? You are killing me. Okay, great.
The funniest thing is that you know exactly where you could get that information.
But I won't.
I'm so proud of you for that, because I could never do that.
Even my high school player self would not have done something like that. There is such a big there
file
are things
on
that are
my
sacred.
Computer.
Yeah.
You have access to my computer, and I am so proud of you.
Please, now that you've said that, now I'm terrified that you're going to leave the wrong screen open and I'm going to see it by accident. Please don't.
You're not. You're not going to recognize it instantly.
Okay.
You're not going to recognize it as being what it is. I have made it obtuse for you. It is innately camouflaged. There is not a tab called The Watcher.
Okay. Is it called The Observer?
Toss a coin to your watcher.
Oh, I miss that show.
I know.
We never finished it because our Witcher left.
Yeah.
I'm sad about that. Okay.
Oh, now I'm just picturing him in a bathtub.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, he grimes up good.
He's so hot. All right. And he's way hotter in The Witcher than he is in like
I know, some things like dress up
and,
well, but he grimes up good. Like you put a little dirt on that boy's face and damn.
And just the way he says fuck. It's so good.
It's like
we should
one
can
word.
We watch that series again?
Yes, anytime you want to watch him say fuck and lay in a bathtub, we will do that together.
What was that? The law of surprise or whatever it is. Fuck.
So good.
It's so good.
If you've never watched The Witcher.
If you've never watched The Watcher, watch The Witcher. What?
I have no idea what you said.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, great. Anything else you wanted to question?
No, but yes, but you didn't finish your thought. If you've never watched The Witcher, do it. At least for the first, what is it? Is it 3 seasons or 2?
Even if you just want to watch a few episodes.
Henry Cavill is
just to watch
phenomenal.
him be glorious
the
and
entire
sexy
cast is
and
great.
dirty and the way he swings a sword.
Who is it that plays Yennefer?
I don't even care. I just want to watch The Witcher swing a sword.
She's also hot and amazing. What?
Well, to you, I just want to watch him shirtless in a tub, and I
You
want to
think
watch.
she's hot too?
Not really, no.
Really?
No.
Wow. I can't believe that our taste in women is different.
She's so fragile looking.
Okay, fair.
She looks like I could hold her forearm and just break it over my knee. Not that I would ever consider doing that to a person, but yeah.
What is happening to this episode?
I don't even know.
Okay, so I think that is it for us, yes.
Yes, but I did want to say a lovely thank you to our new friends.
No, there is one more thing.
What?
The ARC sign up. You wanted to talk about the ARC sign up.
Oh, right. So I had this option out at the Miami Book Fair, and I want to offer it to the podcast listeners who have already been listening for a long time. So right now, because of the way that things are with having a previously unpublished work and all those weird literary things, the only way I can release the text version of just the chapters with no podcast notes, anything like that, is through Substack. And unfortunately, I do have to keep part of that Substack
behind
locked.
a paywall.
I have to keep it behind a paywall. But what I had is, for my advanced reader group, I can give them free access to those chapters because I am entering them specifically as users instead of just opening the whole thing up for anyone who wants access to the text of the chapters. So if you want to sign up for the advanced reading group, which will get you instant access to now all 17 chapters that are published.
Yep.
And then every week, the text of the new chapter will go out to you. You'll have the ability to comment on it on Substack, join the conversation with that, all those good things. Then there is going to be a link in the podcast notes. Click on that link. All you need is a first name and an email address. You can join the advanced reading team, and you'll have access to all of that. Again, I'm sorry that I can't just pop it out there, but because of weird literary rules, I have to have the paywall.
Yes, paywall. Well, it's something that, because we did a production of Pippin with deaf actors, and our Pippin asked, was so wait, but will you be able to look at the text of the podcast? And we went, no, we can't unfortunately have it transcribed.
Because that's a problem
And
with
it
having the
stinks.
full text of the chapter in the podcast, is that in order to keep that not previously published label, we do have to keep it behind a wall.
So understand that we do I hate that we can't do that for our deaf friends, but we can't. But the text will be there. And
also, if any of our deaf friends want to sign up for the advanced reading group,
right. So if you
then they can have.
if you have any deaf friends, tell them that they can absolutely.
Or even if it's someone who just does better reading and listening at the same time.
Yeah, that too. That's true.
I am happy to have people join my advanced reader group. It's just you do have to specifically sign up. I can't just publish it blog post style, unfortunately. No. Yeah. So I think that is it for us. So why don't you tell them, what you always tell them at the end of the episode. So other than signing up for the advanced reader group, also please follow, share the podcast. If you can leave a rating, that is great. If you can leave a comment, that is also great. Please do check us out on social media. Mostly me. This guy is rarely around, but we have a lot of fun there too. And we have
except the lives. If you're on TikTok, I do lives quite frequently.
Yes, but on my social media, we do chat about Sketchbook of a Wayward Seer and the podcast. So if you want more of a conversation on social media platforms, you can follow me there. But in the meantime, thank you for listening to the Page by Page podcast.
Yes, and as always, thank you for reading.